This game at the time of its release was surrounded by controversy. I'm not joking, there were people trying to cancel YouTubers and streamers for playing this game. Someone made a site to see who covered this game so that people could try to cancel them. If that didn't work, they would try to get sponsors to pull out. I bet that these people cost some regular ass person to lose their job. I would bet on that. The reason that people had and still have a problem with this game comes from the original author of Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling. And I'm not gonna get all political on you about her beliefs, but if you're one of those people that made statements like, it's okay for you to play this game, but those who do don't claim to be supportive of the trans community, if you are one of those people, fuck off. I didn't stutter. How fucking dare you say that? Just because someone plays a game, that means you completely understand their thoughts. You are fucking sick and there is something wrong with you. Talk to your parents or go to therapy because there is something wrong with you. Humans are not that simple. Some of you have the same problem that most people online have. You see everything as black and white. That means that one person is objectively right and the other person is wrong no matter what. If people in history was that simple, there would be no war, no violence, nothing like that. But people are complex, and this is where I'm gonna piss you off. There are people that you think are amazing and great and have never done any wrong, and a lot of those people lie to you every day. How many more stories like Ellen DeGeneres and Lizzo do we need for people to learn? People lie, especially when money is on the line. Also, J.K. Rowling had no involvement in the development of this game. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy was developed by Avalanche Studios that Warner Brothers bought from Disney in 2017. And in the same year, Warner Brothers made a new publishing label dedicated to just making games in the wizarding world called Potkey Games. This is the first game that Avalanche made after leaving Disney Interactive. They had to be excited that they don't have to make any more Cars or Hannah Montana games, that they can actually make games that they care about. The budget of the game was around $150 million. Made in Unreal Engine 4, the writing team made their focus on making characters to identify with. None of the main characters from the Harry Potter universe are here, but Nearly Headless Nick and Peeves the Poltergeist make an appearance. They did introduce the first transgender character to the series. The game was released on PS5, Xbox Series consoles, PC on February 10th, 2023, on PS4 and Xbox One May 5th, 2023, and on Nintendo Switch November 14th, 2023. And the game has received pretty well reviews despite all of the controversy surrounding the game. Even though there were reviewers that refused to review the game and other people that were targeted by people just looking to hate on them, there were sites that reviewed it honestly, like IGN gave it a 9, PC Gamer gave it an 83, Game Informer gave it a 9. Then there were other reviewers that had no intention of reviewing the game honestly, like GameSpot and Game Revolution, that both gave it a 6 out of 10. The game has an 84 overall on OpenCritic, and 89% of critics recommend that you play the game. The Switch version of the game has had a lot of graphical downgrade, lower resolution, and it removes most of the true open world experience, with loading screens being very present when traveling and entering shops. I would play it on PC or the PS5 or Xbox Series X or S version. Now let's start with the visuals and the music. I played this on Xbox Series X, and since the game runs on Unreal 4, it looks very good. Yeah, it doesn't look as good as if it was made in Unreal 5, but this game started development in 2018. Weather effects look great, visuals with a nice foggy morning or a winter night. The changing of seasons helps show the changing of time over the year. The particle effects when you cast spells and explosions look great. When you get into a big fight with a bunch of enemies, all of the colors and explosions, it looks incredible. But it's also easy to get lost. Character models look good. The hair is the thing that shocked me. It looks great, especially if you compare it to other games on the market. The faces look like the faces you would see in a AAA studio game, but the animations when you're talking to, you just kind of stand there and blandly talk with no changes to their face even when they're supposed to be surprised. They could have done way more to make the bland conversations more meaningful. Towns like Hogsmeade are great, but that's the only other major town in the game. There are little villages on the map, but there's not much to do there except get the collectibles. There aren't many quests that you randomly stumble upon, and that's something that they've missed the ball on. They could have added way more depth to the world. The Forbidden Wood, I thought that area around the school was supposed to be huge, and it's just like a little area on the map, and there's not much to do there. A few quests and a few dungeons, but that's it. The area looks great, but that's it. Now, Hogwarts looks great. I can already hear Harry Potter fans talking about the things that are wrong with the school, but for me as a casual fan, it looks fine. It's large with plenty to explore, just in the school. There are also things that you can do on the school grounds, but not enough, and there's no Quidditch. Just missed some opportunities. Hopefully it will be in the sequel. Like, I could praise the visuals all day. The lighting looks great, shadows look great, water looks great. Just going to fly your broom around the map, walking through areas, it looks great. The enemy design can feel like it's lacking sometimes because you keep running into the same group of people over and over and over again. You need more than 5 enemy designs, but you also have the legendary enemies on the map that can be a lot of fun. Flying on your broom can cause pop-in to get real bad sometimes. It's worst especially when you first load into the game and fast travel. There were a few times when I was in really dark areas that I would run into this graphical glitch where there were these flashes going on in the background and the lighting would sometimes glitch out, messing up the shadows on objects in the environment. Some of these bugs you've probably seen in the footage that I captured, and this is a bug the devs still haven't fixed entirely. The music is excellent, with some familiar tunes for fans of Harry Potter, but a lot of the music just feels like background noise during a fight when you're wandering the map. Now, I want to take a second to talk about the cutscenes that are really well put together, but the graphical glitches will sneak into the cutscenes, and that will ruin the cutscenes. I can almost bet that most players have run into the same problems that I have with the visuals, and that is just disappointing. Now, the story. I didn't really know anything about the story of this game before I played it, but this game takes place in the late 1800s at Hogwarts, of course, but you can also go to the Scottish Highlands. So people understand this game takes place about 100 years before the events of the Harry Potter books, about 30 years before Voldemort was born, so it gives them a little freedom to tell their own story. You play as a new 5th-year student just starting at Hogwarts, but has the ability to see ancient magic that is the key to finding the Keeper's secret that could throw the world into chaos. Your goal is to find the secret before a goblin named Ranrock and a dark wizard named Victor Rockwood. Ranrock wants to use the power to take down wizard kind and subject them to the same treatment goblins have known for centuries. Victor is desperate for more power no matter the cost, not understanding what Ranrock really has planned, blinded by his lust for power. But you are not alone. You have your magical theory professor right by your side, Elazar Fig, along with students Natty, Poppy, and Sebastian. The story has some ups and downs, but the companion quest was some of the most fun, but also some of the most disappointing. There are times where they can give you an option, but no matter what you say, it always has the same outcome. That's just one of the things that they miss. The worst part about the main story is right in the middle, there's a part where nothing really happens, and you just kind of talk to people. The beginning has you going through famous sections of the school and some pretty spectacular areas. The middle, it lowers the revs and then picks them up at the end with some pretty spectacular fight. This is a love letter to fans of the series, a game that a lot of people actually put a ton of work into while trying to tell an original story in an existing universe. The hope is that they will be able to build on it in a sequel that will let you make decisions that matter. Now, I have to admit that I thought I knew exactly how this game was going to work, an RPG set in the Harry Potter universe. I remember the Harry Potter games on PS1 and PS2, and I figured I knew what they were going to try and do. I was not entirely right. The game is deeper than I originally thought it was going to be, but it's not a super deep RPG. And I learned early on that you can just overpower certain enemies based on what they are weak to. And the talent tree can make that even worse if you know what to upgrade. And upgrading your ability to use and build up ancient magic can make any enemy a cakewalk. The way I saw some people talking about the combat, I thought it was going to be way harder, but I kinda just walked through the game. There were a few times I ran into enemies that were higher level than me, but I was able to beat them all, especially when you have multiple power attacks saved up towards the end. There are certain enemies that just become 1 or 2 hit kills, but I was over leveled for most of the quests in this game. I was level 18 still getting main level quests that were level 6. If that's the case, they should have made it so that the levels match the level you are once you're a higher level than them, but they didn't. So I'm level 37 doing a level 24 quest. You can just power through quests. You can just do the same thing to puzzles in this game. Some of the puzzles in this game, I have no idea how they work, but I solved them. That was something that should never happen. But the combat does reward you for combining certain spells. The thing is, you'll learn what spell combos do the most damage, and then you'll repeat them until the room is clear. You can experiment, but there are some combos that are overpowered, and once you learn those spells, you'll set them and then use them. This is one of the things they missed. When I fight a troll, it should feel like a fight to the death, but here, it's just dodging them and hitting them with the most powerful spell combos. Like I'm repeating hitting a tank. Very lackluster. But you're not just fighting in this game. There are essentially dungeons in the game to try and combine puzzles and combat. Most puzzles in the main story are not very challenging, but there are some more interesting puzzles in the Merlin Trials and the Treasure Vault. The main missions are where the best puzzles should be, along the best looking set pieces, and the set pieces look great. It just feels like they only had one look for these keeper dungeons. Only one looks different, and that's the reason that it stands out so much. It changes everything, not just a few textures. It changes the way the entire game looks for her dungeon. And it might be one of the best looking areas in the game despite the lack of color. That's what all of these keeper areas should have been like. You're seeing it from their perspective, literally seeing the world through their eyes. It could have been amazing, showing different visual styles depending on whose dungeon you were in. Now you're given a broom in this game, but you can't fly everywhere. Like you can't fly in Hogsmeade or other areas, but there are time trials and balloons that need to be popped. The time trials aren't hard, and the balloon popping kind of feels like the Arkham City AR drill. There are also pages for you to collect for your book that tell you the lore and history, puzzles in Hogwarts, infamous foes, chests to collect that let you summon objects in the room of requirement, beasts, Merlin trials, gang hideouts, crossed wands. There's a ton to do if you want to do it all. I'm 50 hours in and I haven't completed everything. I keep going to see if I mentioned everything you can do because there is a ton to do. A lot to do. This I know I'm forgetting a lot, but it never overwhelms like some games do. It has a flow. It wants you to do certain things before other things, if that makes sense. There's a base to build on here that could be the groundwork to an amazing game that ticks all of the right boxes. At the end of the day, this is a great game. It sets the groundwork for a new series, and they have shown that they are not messing around about making good Harry Potter games. They didn't let politics get in their head. They were concerned about making a great game that was worth the playtime. They knew that there were people that were going to be mad at them no matter what. And I know that there are people that work there that do not share the same political beliefs as J.K. Rowling. And this studio probably had people quit because of her and people not wanting to be connected to the property. We do know people attacked the devs online after the game was released, calling them everything in the book: transphobic, racist, homophobic, sexist. All these developers probably lost friends and family because of this game. All that I ask of you is to just give this game an honest chance. It's a lot of fun, but has plenty of room for improvement. I'd give Hogwarts Legacy a 7.5 out of 10. I wanted to give this game an 8, but I can't. There are too many things that can be fixed, and with this game being out nearly a year, there are still bugs that can break missions and graphical glitches. But tell me what you think in the comments section down below. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, hit the little bell, all of that stuff, and I'll see you guys next time.